This documentary examines a real criminal case involving domestic violence, disappearance, and death. No graphic details are described. Viewer discretion is advised. In the summer of 2021, millions of people watched a smiling young woman travel across America. She filmed golden sunsets. She filmed crackling campfires. She filmed a dream life on the road. But behind the filters, the hashtags, and the perfectly curated thumbnails, something was already breaking. This is the story of Gabby Petito. And the question that still haunts this case is not who was responsible, but what went wrong before it was too late. Gabby Petito, was 22 years old. She was an artist, a creator, and she had a deep love for travel. In July of 2021, she and her fiancé set out on a cross-country road trip. Their plan was simple and, for many, aspirational. They converted a Ford Transit van into a tiny home on wheels. They would travel through America's most beautiful national parks, and they would document everything on social media. Their YouTube channel, Nomadic Static, and their Instagram accounts painted a picture of pure happiness. There were smiles, laughter, and stunning landscapes, all carefully edited into bite-sized moments of adventure. To their growing audience, it looked like freedom. It looked perfect. But off camera, a very different story was unfolding. Witnesses who encountered the couple would later describe visible tension, heated arguments, and moments of emotional distress. Friends later revealed that behind the brave face, Gabby struggled with anxiety. Brian was described by some as jealous and controlling. None of this was visible online. The gap between their digital life and their reality was growing wider with every mile they drove. On August 12, 2021, outside Arches National Park, police in Moab, Utah, pulled over the couple's white van. A witness had called 911, his voice filled with concern. He reported seeing a man hitting a woman. The police body camera footage from that stop would soon be seen by millions. It shows a distraught Gabby Petito crying uncontrollably. She's shaking. She apologizes to the officers over and over again. Brian, on the other hand, appears calm, almost detached. He even smiles and jokes with the officers at times. During the nearly hour-long interaction, the police tried to piece together what happened. Both Gabby and Brian admit to arguing, but they downplay the physical altercation. The officers ultimately determined that Gabby was the primary aggressor, based on her own admissions and Brian's visible scratches. No charges are filed. Instead, the police decide to separate the couple for the night to cool off. Gabby is left with the van, and Brian is given a hotel room, paid for by the police department. At the time, the officers believed they had successfully de-escalated a domestic dispute. In hindsight, this moment would become the single most analyzed and debated traffic stop in the history of modern true crime. After leaving Utah, the couple traveled north toward Wyoming. Gabby's social media posts continued for a short while. She shared photos from Grand Teton National Park, beautiful images that gave no hint of the trouble that was brewing. Then, silence. Her regular posts stopped. Her family, used to daily communication, stopped receiving messages. The last known text sent from Gabby's phone on August 30th was a short, strange message about Yellowstone and her grandfather, Stan. Investigators would later question whether Gabby was even the one who sent it. On September 1st, Brian Laundrie returned to his parents' home in Northport, Florida. He was alone. He was driving Gabby's van. He offered no explanation for her absence. To her family, and soon to the world, he said nothing at all. 10 days later, on September 11th, Gabby Petito was officially reported missing by her frantic family. The news hit social media like a shockwave. What started as a missing persons report quickly exploded into a national obsession. TikTok creators analyzed timelines and scoured Gabby's social media for clues. Armchair detectives on Reddit and Facebook tracked potential van sightings across the country. The digital world that Gabby had so carefully cultivated was now working in overdrive to find her. Meanwhile, law enforcement focused their attention on the one person who should have had answers, Brian Laundrie. But Brian refused to speak. Through his family's lawyer, He issued a statement expressing hope for Gabby's return, but offered no information about her whereabouts or what happened. As days turned into weeks, the silence from the Laundrie family was deafening. The case dominated news headlines, and the public pressure mounted. A family was searching for their daughter, and an entire nation was watching, waiting, and demanding answers. On September 19, 2021, the search came to a tragic end. Human remains were discovered in the Spread Creek dispersed camping area in Wyoming, a place where the couple had been staying. 2 days later, dental records confirmed the worst fears of everyone following the case. It was Gabby Petito. An autopsy would later rule her death a homicide. The cause was manual strangulation. Investigators determined she had likely been dead for 3 to 4 weeks. The public reaction was immediate and overwhelming. There was shock, deep anger, and a collective sense of grief for the young woman whose journey so many had followed. The question was no longer, where is Gabby? Now, it was, where is Brian Laundrie? But Brian was already gone. His parents had reported him missing on September 17th, claiming he'd gone for a hike in Florida's vast Carlton Reserve and never returned. An intense search began. Teams scoured the treacherous alligator-infested wetlands. They used drones, canine units, and helicopters, but the swampy terrain made the search incredibly difficult. For over a month, there was no sign of him. Then, on October 20th, some of Brian's personal belongings were found in an area of the reserve that had previously been underwater. Nearby, investigators discovered human remains. Dental records soon confirmed they belonged to Brian Laundrie. Lying close to his body were a backpack, a handgun, and a notebook. Inside that water-damaged notebook was a confession. Brian admitted to killing Gabby. In his writing, he claimed it was a merciful act, an effort to end her suffering after she supposedly fell and injured herself. However, investigators and Gabby's family have firmly rejected that self-serving explanation, pointing to the violent cause of death. The case was officially closed, with the FBI concluding that Brian Laundrie acted alone, but the controversy was far from over. Questions lingered, fueling debates across the country. Could the Moab police have intervened differently? Did that body cam footage show clear, yet missed, warning signs of an abusive relationship? Why was Brian, who was seen as the victim in that incident, separated into a hotel, while Gabby was left alone in the van? Why were classic indicators of domestic violence, like Gabby's extreme emotional distress and apologies, seemingly downplayed? Experts in domestic violence advocacy say this case exposed deep, systemic failures. Not just failures by law enforcement, but by a society that often misunderstands the complex dynamics of intimate partner violence. Gabby Petito's story became more than just another true crime headline. Her life and her tragic death sparked urgent, global conversations about domestic violence. It forced a reckoning with the curated perfection of our online personas and the often painful realities they can hide. It highlighted how danger can be present in plain sight, even when it's framed by a beautiful sunset or a happy smile. This wasn't just a crime. It was a warning. A warning about the signs we miss, the questions we don't ask, and the help that needs to be available for those in crisis. It was a warning the world saw, but only after it was too late. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, please know there is help. You can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 or visit their website at thehotline.org. You are not alone. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Criminal Verse, where every crime hides a story.